everybody, and welcome to Crash Test Indie. This is the show where things have actually changed around here. In case you've missed the most recent announcement on my channel, we are actually doing things a little bit differently now on the show. First of all, we're not going to be featuring 5 to 7 games because that was actually putting me in the poorhouse, and pretty soon I was going to have to sell my computer and walk the streets. So instead of that, we're actually going to be focusing on 1 or maybe 2 games a week, and this week we're focusing on 1 game, and it happens to be Battlefleet Gothic Armada. So let's just quit out of this and close that. Hello. There we go. All right, so before we even go to this screen, let's go to the Steam page, and just so everybody can see, those of you trying to send me messages right now, I can't read my messages, just so you know. I click on this and nothing happens. I've restarted Steam multiple times, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, so Battlefleet Gothic Armada, and before we talk about that, let's talk about who we have on the stream today, and we have 2 people. We have Patchouli and Lapapsnow.
Hello there.
Hello as well.
How are you today this week, Luke?
I'm doing brilliantly, in fact. I am currently eating supper, so it's good. Also, for the next week, I'm going to be off on a hike with some of my friends. So, yes.
In South Africa?
Nice to get away from Yes, so it'll be nice to get away from civilization for once.
So, do you... Okay,
Which may come as a shock.
I have a quick question, actually, because I'm from Canada. When I go on a hike, I bring bear spray. Do you have to bring, like, lion spray or giraffe spray? I'm just wondering.
Giraffe spray.
I think it'd be mosquito spray.
A mosquito spray, maybe.
Yes, it is mosquito spray, and that's basically it. Maybe a stick for the snakes, but besides that, it's fine.
A stick for the snakes. Well, I watched a show the other night about monkeys attacking people in Africa.
Baboons? Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that they're pretty vicious, actually.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. If they come to you and they want your food, you give it to them and you don't ask questions.
It's like if you get mugged, it's not worth it. Just give them the money, honey.
Yeah, pretty much. That's actually it. So, optimally we don't get mugged by wild baboons, but, it should be fine.
But it is possible, right? It's possible.
It's possible.
Yes!
Albeit likely.
Yes,
albeit
but
unlikely.
If you get mugged by baboons, please record that. Please, please, please. Please. That would be amazing. Sorry. Anyway, also on the show we have Patchouli. Welcome back, Patchouli. This is your second time on the show.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me again. Because, practicing English, it's what I do here.
Well, I'll be honest with you. Actually, Patchouli's been teaching me some English apparently lately. Well, I think on my last Master of Orion, you sent me a whole big message about how terrible I am at speaking my own language. But in my defense, some of the names of those systems were not English. They were Japanese.
Yeah, like half of them were Japanese, and there was even one vaguely African name, or Middle Eastern at least.
Woohoo! Yeah!
Okay.
Take that.
Anyway, welcome back to the show, Patchouli. Thank you for some of the names in Master of Orion were kind of there were other languages. So in my defense, it's not English, and I'm terrible at English too. So I have to refer to you, my Ukrainian friend. You're Ukrainian, right? That's correct, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, I have to refer to you for my good English. My English. Ingolash. So anyway, welcome to the show. Today we are going to be playing Battlefield Gothic Armada. It is a brand new, it's supposed to be released this month. They actually don't have a actual day that this is supposed to be released, but it is available for pre-order already on Steam. And it is as it says here, it is a strategy RTS space sci-fi. But in fact, the campaign mode is a crisis management game, and it looks really, really, really good. And I have spent a little bit of time with the game, which is different from what we were doing before too. Before I was just coming in and jumping in and playing some games at random and not having any skill at it, and we were trying to judge how good it's going to be based on the few minutes we were playing it, and that just didn't work. So I think this will be way more informative and way more interesting. So once again, this is based on the Warhammer 40k universe, and actually, in fact, a board game called Battlefleet Gothic Armada. And I have not played the board game, but I've heard that this is a pretty darn good rendition of what the board game is in fact. And this is made by Focus Home Interactive. These are the same people that did Mordheim and some of the other big titles, Warhammer 40k titles like Blood Bowl. And of course it does some other stuff like, well, this is a publisher. The publisher has released other stuff like Blood Bowl and Mordheim. The actual developer, I don't know. What else have they done? They did, let's just take a quick look here. I think they actually did, I thought they were actually responsible for Mordheim, but no, they did Ethereum and Stellar Impact. Interesting. So they've done some other space combat games. So anyway, we're going to jump in and take a look. What other Warhammer 40k games have you guys played?
Well, I have played Dawn of War, the first one with its many add-ons like Winter Assault, then there was Dark Crusade, Soulstorm, etc., etc. Especially Dark Crusade was a really good game with its planet map where you have to strategically counter things. Then I played Dawn of War 2.
Oh, cool.
Without any expansions. And I also played Space Marine, the third-person shooter, which was really fun.
Yeah,
Space Marine, a third-person shooter. That sounds really familiar. I might have actually touched that one. I'm not sure, but I'll be honest with you. The only Warhammer 40k games that I can think of that I've played, actually, except for one that was ages and ages and ages ago. This was like 10 years ago. But I played a touch of Blood Bowl. And the RNG in Blood Bowl was driving me crazy. It made me mad. And then I played a little bit of Mordheim, and I have it in my list of things that I really want to get into because it does look really good. But I never played Dawn of War.
Yeah, it's pretty much the two different sides of the 40k fandom. So on my side, you have the pretty much popular fandom with Space Marines and all this kind of stuff that catches on really quickly with the crowd. And on your side, we have the games that are close to the tabletop games, which are kind of obscure in the general public, I think.
Well, what's interesting about the board games, I mean, Games Workshop has been building these miniature games for eons, right? And so Games Workshop has started to branch out into the video game industry, and I think it's exactly what they need to do because the whole miniature industry is being destroyed by video games. So I think it's where it needs to go. So everything that, of course, is based on a Games Workshop game, they must get royalties for. I mean, they must, right? I think it's definitely the way they go. But I remember once upon a time, I mean, these Games Workshop stores that used to be in the malls, at least here in North America, would always be full of people just playing all day long, and they're kind of trying to get away from that. Like I go walk by these stores now, and there's nobody there. And maybe they just don't do that stuff in the stores anymore. So I think it's a natural next step is to go into the video game industry. So I'm just going to start the campaign here, which means we're going to watch a little bit of an intro, and then we're going to talk about what's happening. But yeah, everybody should be able to hear it this time now because my co-host can actually hear the stream.
Yay!
Yay!
How far has technology gone?
Amazing.
Wonderful.
For 10,000 years, the Imperium of Man has endured under the rule of the immortal Emperor. The worlds of man are scattered across the galaxy, threatened by savage aliens, heretics who defy the Emperor's will, and horrors lurking upon forgotten worlds. It is a time of endless war, selfless heroism, and blackest infamy.
I see fortresses in the stars. A circle of 6, but they sleep yet and must be awakened. Ride upon the storms of chaos. Gather your rivals around you. Send discord and terror throughout 1,000 worlds. Abaddon the Despoiler, War Master of Chaos. You speak in meaningless riddles. What are the fortresses in the stars? Answer me or die now! Stop this foolishness. I have consorted with creatures far more powerful than you. Speak, crone, but I will remember your insolence. Seek the hand of darkness. Take the eye of night. With these, the citadels will be yours to command. A chorus of 1 billion throats will cry your name in fear and hatred. The stars themselves will run red with blood. If you have the courage for it. War Master.
Dark forces rise. I love the slow. Everyone in chat, you can't see chat right now, of course on the YouTube or in the stream right now, but chat's like,
Captain Spire, data log Alpha.
Hold on.
Battlefleet Command has lost contact with Orbital Station Aleph in the Naxos system. I'm on my way to investigate.
Sir, we're approaching the location of Orbital Station Aleph.
Captain, the station is surrounded by an asteroid field. I have calculated the best approach for us to pass through it safely.
So actually, I will start. There is in the pre-order there is a campaign. There's only 3 missions, 3 or 4 missions available in the campaign.
Course
just
plotted.
kind of semi-tutorially, but the final mission we really get to see what this game is going to hold, and it is truly going to be a crisis management game, unlike other campaign type campaigns in other RTSs where you're kind of following a linear path. There's a little bit of open-endedness to this campaign, which I think is pretty cool. But yeah, and actually, let's take a close look at that ship, because, man, it's gorgeous. Can anybody hear me?
For those who are not familiar with the scale that 40K operates on, especially the spaceships that 40K has, this ship is pretty much the size of a small city and has the same population. So there are several dozen thousand people on this ship right now.
Yeah. And it's like this here, it's like a little castle or a citadel right inside, like on top of the ship. Like these things are supposed to be these massive, massive, massive structures, and the art is amazing. I just think it's incredible. And the miniatures in the game, they look like this, and of course you have to paint them all in the miniatures. But this is actually the second smallest ship in the game. This is a light cruiser.
Yep.
And this, I mean, think about it. I mean, this is probably as big as, like, I don't know. Yeah, like you said, like Patchouli said, this is like the size of a small city, and this is the second smallest game in the game. The only ships smaller than this in the game are escort ships, which are basically just tiny little vessels. But this is actually the second smallest ship. This is the light cruiser, and then it goes cruiser, and then it goes battle cruiser, and then battleship. And the battleships are literally a city size. It's incredible. And the audio, I'm so glad that you guys can actually hear this.
There's an active minefield directly ahead, Captain. We must maneuver quickly, or it is likely the ship will be damaged.
All available power to the plasma thrusters. We're going to execute a high-energy turn.
I took a moment to learn some of the keys. So E is the high-energy turn. So this part reminds me a little bit of Starfleet Command. I'm just going to stop early.
Captain. The thrusters are already recharging.
I don't know if anybody...
Resume our course to the orbital station.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt these guys because they're the voice actors, right? So have Patchouli and Luke, have you guys ever played Starfleet Command?
No, I haven't, unfortunately.
Is Luke still here? Did we lose Luke? I can't.
Hi, sorry. I was just in the bathroom.
Oh, with your
sorry.
Computer?
My
wow.
apologies.
Okay, all right. Whatever. That's fine. That's fine.
So, sorry, what is the question?
Well, Starfleet.
Understood.
Starfleet Battles. It's an old Star Trek board game, and they made it into a video game. And they, of course, you had the option to do high energy turns, and of course increase the power to your engines and stuff like that. And this
Captain,
includes that. And I always
auger arrays indicate that the orbital station is heavily damaged. I suggest we move in closer to discover what happened here.
And any game with these high energy turns, I always imagine, because think about how fast you're probably going in reality.
Captain,
it's probably like...
we can reach the station faster by pushing the engine status to all ahead full.
Yeah, I imagine it's like hundreds and hundreds of meters per second, like very, very, very fast. And you do these high energy turns, I just imagine the entire crew getting plastered to the right side of the ship as we do the high energy turns, right? like okay, we're going like hundreds and hundreds of meters per second. All of a sudden,
Acquiring new
all the crew are just like slam. Anyway, yeah, so that is available, and of course that's the E button to do the high energy turns, and then I think it's the Q button to give the all ahead full. And these are important, so it's just like the ship battles on sea, right? I mean, they turn like ships. It's very, very slow, and this, like I said, being that this is the second smallest ship, imagine the battleships. The battleships, it takes forever unless you're doing like the high energy turns, and there is
huge.
yeah. And then, of course, there's like a fuel, so you run out of fuel and you no
set.
longer can use that bonus until that recharges all the way up again.
Ah, I see. Clever.
Yeah. So, like I said, the first few missions here are a little bit linear, just to kind of show you the game, and then it sort of opens up.
It seems like the station has been attacked recently. The enemy may still be lurking around.
Sir, I recommend dispatching some of the ship's armsmen to board Orbital Station Aleph and report on what they find.
Another wonderful...
Setting course!
Whoops. So each ship, of course, each ship has a variety of skills that you can purchase with Renown, as well as abilities and such, and improve different make different upgrades into passive upgrades and active skills. And every ship has a sort of default set of skills that they can all do, like boarding actions, which of course allows you to launch little ships that'll go in and try and disable systems.
Boarding part is underway, Captain.
We're seeing several weapon impacts and signs of explosions on the bulkheads. We've found the command center, sir. This place is a mess. It's full of bodies. The station's command crew. They're all dead.
Act cautiously, Sergeant. I have a bad feeling about this.
Sir, we found a survivor. Sir, the station is a trap. We're under attack by traitor forces.
Oh gosh.
Captain, a defense platform on the station has activated and is targeting our vessel. Broadside macro cannons ready to fire on your order, sir.
Okay, location of guns on your ship is important, of course, because you have actual broadside guns as well as you have turrets. And on this particular ship, it also has a front-firing, it's like a laser-type weapon that's really effective against shields.
Engines hot!
And of course, the range is super important. The broadside guns on this particular ship operate really well at close range. So one of the tactics, of course, with just like you could, like you would in a real, like Age of Sail type game, is fly up to the enemy, do a high energy turn, and then broadside. And it just looks absolutely spectacular when we
engines hot.
There we go. It reminds me
Target destroyed, Captain. We blew it to pieces.
Sir, I'm picking up some strange signals in the nearby gas cloud.
Setting course.
Eventually we can get probes to identify stuff that's coming in, but it reminds me of, did you guys ever see the movie Wing Commander? Terrible movie. Awful movie.
Sir, the signals. They're iconoclast destroyed.
I've heard of the game Wing Commander,
ships.
but I haven't seen it.
This sector is a long way from the
I'm talking about the
Eye
movie
of Terror.
that it has
What could they
Freddie
be after
Prinze
here?
Jr. in it.
Whatever their reasons, Captain, these heretics must be destroyed at once.
We'll talk about that.
Captain, consulting the ship's cogitators and machine spirit can help guide you in making tactical decisions in battle.
Underway!
It's not giving me access to everything right now. Like, there's all sorts of things we could be doing, including locking on and stuff. But
Orders
just gives you
received.
sort of that. So I'm trying to make use of that laser and then come around. What a great tactic is if you're fighting more than one ship, because your broadside guns on both sides is getting in between them, right?
We need to direct additional power to the targeting cogitators to increase our weaponry's accuracy.
So this is called locking on, of course, but gives you all sorts of crazy bonuses as well. So, like I said, it's not letting us do all the things that we normally do. This is just kind of showing us off, but we'll get to that pretty quickly. But yeah, the reason I brought up Wing Commander is in Wing Commander, the movie, they had these scenes where they launched these torpedoes.
Captain, the auger arrays are reporting more enemy signals. Many more.
A gigantic Chaos Fleet. There's no way we could survive fighting them head-on. Contact the High Command immediately.
Unable to do so, Captain. All communications are jammed. Captain, there may be a way for us to escape and warn Port Moore. We could risk an emergency warp jump.
It's risky to engage the warp engines this close to the star's gravitational field. But the Chaos Fleet has us boxed in.
Yeah, it's time to
Sir,
go.
we don't have any other options.
This
Oh, eternal God Emperor. Preserve us from the dangers of the void.
This button here, this warp away button, is not a campaign-only feature. It's something you can do in multiplayer as well as in the skirmish games to help save your ships, because all of your ships get experience and your crew gets experience. So if things are going badly, of course you want to flee. Now that doesn't always work well because people can actually target those systems on your ship that disable the warp away function, which is absolutely tragic. And of course, because with every mission, whether you win or lose, you're going to get this Renown, which is like experience points, which you can use to improve your ships and or buy new ships, including your crew, improving your crew. There's even skills you can get later on, or passive, I think it's upgrades, I think, that you can get to your ship, which gives you your crew the ability to possibly flee and not lose their lives if your ship gets destroyed and stuff, because they get experience. It's really cool.
Yes, indeed, very cool.
I wonder how it works for multiplayer. The warp thing. It should be like a big warp.
That is stunning.
It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
If what you say is true, Captain Spire, a vast Chaos Fleet is massing for attack. Inquisitor Horst, are you sure of this man?
Maybe we should consider someone else.
Isn't this captain from a planet that rebelled against the Emperor's will?
Enough! His faith will be tested thoroughly.
Love the Emperor, for he is the salvation of mankind. Obey his words, for he will lead you into the light of the future. Honor his servants, for they speak his voice. Tremble before his majesty, for we all walk in his immortal shadow.
Let us begin.
Oh, snap. No, not the ice cream.
We needed to be certain. The enemy we face is no ordinary foe.
I understand.
You are to be promoted to the rank of Admiral and given command of the fleet.
I will not fail you, Inquisitor.
There is much to do and little time, Admiral Spire. I fear a storm coming to the Gothic sector. One we are not yet prepared to face.
I got my Admiral pants on now.
The Gothic sector is beginning to turn
My
away
apologies.
from the Emperor's light. Treachery, sedition, and heresy have broken out like a plague upon our worlds. Admiral Spire, your new rank entitles you to command a small war fleet of Imperial Navy ships. It is your task to ensure the citizens of the Imperium remain safe and loyal.
obviously, you can see why this is an appealing game, especially for those people that, I mean, Luke, Patchouli, we all play reassembly, right? And I mean, you guys see how I play reassembly. I make up this force of dark or whatever, and it's just, it's all here. It feels so good. It reminds me of like that medieval, that old style, but it's all in space, right? I mean, well, that is Warhammer 40K, but I love it. It's so good. So this is eventually going to be sort of the main game, and you represent one of the main faction, the Imperial Navy faction, which is, of course, from the original board game too, and you are facing the Black Crusade, and every turn of the game, there is a chance that there could be an attack or something to limit the amount of bonuses you get from owning all of these systems. All of these systems right now belong to us, and every single system that we own gives us a bonus. And what's going to happen is the Black Crusade, which includes the orcs and all sorts of crazy, evil, dark, medieval guys, are going to come and try and take away those bonuses by capturing the sectors or taking away, whatever, some kind of economic power that we might have. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, indeed.
So again, this is still a scripted mission, and there's nothing else we can do differently. We are now an admiral.
Your first assignment is to put an end to the unrest and rebellion threatening a nearby system.
But this would be an example of one of those the crisis management. So something pops up and you have to take care of it. And if we fail, if we win, of course, we're going to win more renown, which allows us to upgrade our fleet and give us better crew and all that kind of stuff. But we still get renown if we're defeated. And we also get more renown the fewer the ships we use, because we're given so many points we're allowed to take. So in other words, even we're an admiral now, so we can take, I think, up to 2 light cruisers, I think. And at least and as many escort ships as we want. Now the downside, we could for this mission we can't, but normally we would be able to.
This interface helps you prepare your fleet for the next mission. At the head of every fleet is the flagship. You must select one of your vessels as the flagship for each assignment. Choose your Dauntless Light Cruiser as the flagship for this first operation. You have another captain assigned to your command. This captain commands a Dauntless Light Cruiser and will assist you for the duration of the mission. Add his ship to your fleet. Smaller ships of the escort class can provide fire support or scout for the enemy. The Firestorm frigates are a good choice for this assignment.
Everybody in chat's like, it's a trap, don't take the mission. So what do you guys think so
Once
far?
your fleet is prepared to engage the enemy, you should set
definitely.
course for the target system at once.
After this mission, we get to see all the upgrade capabilities for skills, crew, and such. So you'll get a much better idea of what you can actually do to a ship. It's pretty incredible.
The fleet has reached the last known position of the heretic ships. Their sedition must not stand. How shall we deploy our flagship?
We don't get much choice. in
Now
this
you must select
right
how you
now.
wish to deploy remaining ships of the line. Now that your cruisers are deployed, you must next determine where to place the Firestorm escort vessels. Your new promotion has placed you in command of the entire fleet, Admiral. That means you can order your captains to adopt engagement modes during the battle. These engagement modes define how your captains act in battle. You can change the engagement modes at any time.
Admiral, the Firestorm escort ships have powerful prow weapons. I would advise setting these ships to a frontal attack. A good understanding of each ship's weapons is the best way to know which engagement mode to use.
So the Firestorms have that same beam weapon that our light cruiser has. You can actually see it in the front here. You can also see your beam weapons or your weapons on this list. So it's a light prow lance, and it only fires directly forward. So you can actually set up your ships. Now this button only works if you've actually got the enemy targeted. Otherwise, you can actually set your guys to go on auto attack too as well. But if, for example, if I select the Firestorm and then right-click on an enemy and I have this selected, he's going to face the enemy as much as possible.
The macro cannons on our ships are most effective when fired at short range.
And then, of course, these ships are very, very good at short range, but most of their weapons are broadsides. So you want to keep them on as, so let's select this, keep them on at around 3K range.
Now that we've deployed the fleet,
and of course,
it is time to root out these rebellious traitors.
Okay.
All ships, coordinate your movements. We will advance as one group at the same speed. We will set course for a gas cloud and use it to ambush the rebel ships. Once our ships enter the gas cloud, it should mask our fleet's emissions.
I'm enjoying this so far. I like the complexity and the ability to customize each little ship's behavior strategy. I love that.
Yeah, oh, it's incredible. And even, as a matter of fact, so we have a Dauntless and we have a Dauntless Mark II. And the Dauntless Mark II actually has a slightly different loadout than the Dauntless Mark I. So the Dauntless Mark II has torpedoes, which is a front-firing weapon that if one of our ships actually gets in the way of, will hurt our ships. They also have an activation range. So if you're too close to the enemy, of course, they just like a torpedo out of a sub, right? They have to reach a certain safe distance before they activate. Yeah.
Ship ready.
And just
good stuff.
Yeah. What do you think, Patchouli?
I think it's a great
Awaiting
example
orders.
of video game logic.
Changing course.
Because you are now the admiral of the entire fleet. Here's 2 more ships. That's
The gas cloud conceals our fleet, sir. We're invisible to the enemy ships.
Yeah, but they gave my screen.
The trap is set.
Yeah.
Now we wait for our
Well,
prey.
that is an offer he couldn't
Sir,
refuse.
I've detected an enemy
And
vessel.
none of us-
Shall I engage?
Wait until you have identified your target, Captain.
I have a probe ready to launch, Admiral. That ought to tell us what we're looking at.
Very well, Captain. Launch the probe.
So the probe would be another skill that it's an active skill that you can actually
Choose where you
choose.
want the probe to go.
Of course, they've given
the probe
it to
will
us in this
identify
case.
any nearby signals.
And sometimes these ships, these signatures will show up, and they're actually decoys. So having a ship with probing or reconnaissance skills is actually quite handy. There's actually a real purpose behind it.
I see.
Not only being able to
readings
tell
are
what you're being
confirmed.
facing, right?
That
Or what you're
ship
going to be facing.
belongs to the traitorous rebels.
Now that we have identified the ship, our weapons cogitators can automatically target the enemy vessel.
All ships, attack the enemy vessel.
Okay, so we're gonna.
Yes, Admiral.
We're gonna try and be fancy.
Helm
here.
coordinates acknowledged. At your command.
There we go. Oop. Trying to get it so that we can broadside on either side of this guy.
Ship ready.
And then have the firestorm right in the center
Understood.
to hit him directly.
Yes, Admiral.
There we go.
Underway.
I've never been a pro at RTS games, and I'm sure this is gonna. I'm sure the professional scene is gonna take on to this.
Spire, did Ravensburg send you to bring us to heel? There are other powers in the galaxy besides the.
Well, in a way, the professional scene
They
has
cannot
already taken on to
put
this,
skill.
because
And
it is a
you-
tabletop game, right? And people who play tabletop games have to spend
Orders
a lot
received.
of money on their miniatures,
Awaiting
their
orders.
stuff that you need to game, and
Engines hot.
thus they naturally get
The
good
enemy's
at
void
what they're playing.
shields are down.
It would be a shame
Sir,
not to-
I suggest that we
not to
concentrate
think
fire on their plasma generator. Targeting the plasma generator drains the ship's power. They'll have difficulty using their warp engines.
So of course, specific targeting. You can target their turrets, their engines, their focus, like their deck weapons and stuff, and of course their generators. And what we're going to try and do here is actually get into position and then launch some torpedoes, which looks so good when they actually hit.
Capacitors are destroyed.
Another thing we can do is we can slow down time in the non-multiplayer version called conjugating or something. I forget what it's called. Let's see if we can slow down. Conjugators, yeah, using our conjugators. Tactical conjugator. To slow down time. I need to actually stop the ship. Let's see. Stop. How do we stop? Nope, that's running silent. I guess. Let's make sure. Let's make sure.
Deluks underneath. Deluks,
orders?
Go back to your unit.
Yeah.
There is a little pause button. Okay, so left. To the left of the portrait, where all the movement options are, at the bottom.
Aha, there we
as
go.
you see,
Burn retros.
Perfect. So that stops the ship. Whoops.
You're selecting a different unit though.
That's right.
There you go. Put it into the stop.
For the Emperor!
I think. Oh, right. And now I can do a high energy turn.
Tell him to stop his round. He's still going.
Cruising speed set.
Stop. And then we should be able to. I just don't want to miss.
No,
it's gonna be tight.
Problem.
At your command.
It's not going to
Nope,
activate.
you're right. Oh, just barely. Wasn't that
barely because he.
Target locked in.
Isn't that magnificent?
Your orders.
Indeed.
That did a fair amount of damage. Not as much as I was hoping.
Awaiting orders.
This guy's operating at 3K, so we'll get him to move in a little bit closer.
Oh, he's told to stop.
Awaiting orders.
What's that?
Deluxe. The other
Cruising
the other
speed
ship was told to be stopped, so
Yes,
it's not going to chase after the enemy.
Yes, you're right. And
So the other guy as well.
oh, was he?
Your
Okay.
orders?
Oh, right. Okay, sorry. Yeah. So now
Yes, Admiral.
the what's? Oh, no, that's fine. Yeah, so in multiplayer, I don't
Admiral,
think you can use a
This is a
tactical
battle we
conjugators,
cannot win.
but there is
I'm
still.
taking my ship out of this mess.
Admiral, he is activating his warp engines and preparing to disengage from the battlefield.
This cowardice cannot be tolerated! Admiral, we must put an end to this pitiful display and make an example of this craven fool!
Oh, right. Our own general, our own guy, our own captain of this ship was actually rebelling because things aren't going well, and this happens in the main game. You have to execute.
You've been promoted to captain. Follow my orders and we'll get through this.
As you command, Admiral.
Yes, Admiral.
Yeah, so your own guys will rebel, right? Especially if the battle's not going well, they'll say, "Well, I'm leaving," and you actually have to execute them. It's super funny. That should be good. There is also, of course, the damage model works for ramming, but you have to be careful when you're ramming ships that are larger than you. If
your command.
If they're a higher weight class and you ram a ship, but we can show that here.
Setting course.
Is that a bright idea?
Probably not.
Doesn't matter.
Engines to maximum.
Oh, no, we missed him. Whoops.
At your command.
Let's try.
Oh, he dodged. Stop just in time.
Cruising speed set.
He's just like flying around the guy. He's probably going like, what is he doing?
The reason, actually, it reminds me of Battlestar Galactica too. The impacts on the ships, it's kind of got that wave. Like, it looks so
Ship ready.
Hold on, let's try this again. There we go. Yes! Boom! Isn't that incredible? But that probably hurt our ship just
Underway.
as much.
Awaiting orders.
Cruising speed set.
Imagine the scale of that collision just now.
Awaiting orders.
Oh, yeah, I mean, if you think about the sizes of these ships, right? I mean, like, people would be flying everywhere. As a matter of fact, what's really funny, and you're going to get to see this in the next mission, like, the orcs will actually shoot goblins through their cannons at the enemy ships and stuff, and they freeze in space and then explode. It's crazy. The orcs are just brutal. So let's see if we can kind of sideswipe
The enemy
here.
ship has activated its warp engines
they do
and
have
is attempting to disengage.
So why not?
I have a strike team of Navy armsmen ready to sabotage the enemy's warp engines. We must act quickly and use the ship's teleportarium to launch the attack.
So if the
engines hot,
if the shields are down, you can use this thing called Lightning Strike, which sends an elite squad to the enemy ship, has a chance of dealing critical damage, and of course, stopping their warp.
Your orders.
Fool! Your faith in the Emperor is as false as your courage!
Silence this heresy! Fire all weapons!
So as you were saying.
Yeah, so, yeah, and all these skills, I don't know all the skills perfectly yet. We can actually be using our lock-on skill too as well. So, we should be killing their engines. I don't know why we haven't actually killed their engines yet. As soon as we get through this, you're going to get to see the orcs, which is amazing. And And I should actually
orders.
be hitting him with the broadside with this other ship too.
Underway! Engines to maximum!
I think the reason I like this so much is
We should keep our distance from the enemy ship,
art
sir.
style and the
It'll
feeling
soon
of
explode.
naval battles. Like, just like you would have... oh, here we go.
Wall ships, you fought with valor this day, and proven yourselves worthy of the Imperial Navy. Set course to leave the system. I must report our victory to Lord Admiral Ravensburg.
Okay. Pretty cool, though, eh?
Okay.
And you can see, like, if you're not slowing down time, it can be... Sorry, go ahead.
Pretty explosions.
Pretty explosions. 373 renown. And we've got a level. I think this is one where we get to see the orcs. I hope so.
You've exceeded my expectations, Admiral. However, other seditious forces are making themselves known in the Gothic sector. I would like you to meet Fabricator Cambrius. He is in charge of the Adeptus Mechanicus shipyards at Port Moore.
Admiral, you and your fleet can repair and upgrade your vessels at Port Moore. By the Omnissiah, my tech priests stand ready to assist you. As you grow in renown throughout the Gothic sector, larger classifications of ships will become available. Follow me, Admiral Spire. I wish to show you the sacred shipyards of Port Moore.
Amazing. So now we get to actually see some of the upgrades that are available.
You know what's always funny about video game logic, Deluxe?
Port Moore is the largest and most sophisticated harbor in the Segmentum.
We show up on the scene with no experience and they give us multiple
to
ships.
you at your current rank, experience, and renown. There are several shipyards in operation at Port Moore. Follow me, Admiral, and I will lead you to the docking bay. It is time to show you what my shipyard can provide to meet the needs of your fleet.
So, and just as far as I know, even in the multiplayer game, you get to upgrade your ships, and like I said, there's the ability to flee when things are going badly because you can lose all of your work.
Vessels. Using this interface, you can see your ship's standard characteristics. The weapons of your ship are also displayed here. Pay close attention to the weapons information displayed here in order to better understand your ship's capabilities. This panel displays the general attributes of your ship. Select the Crew Management panel to see more. Admiral, this is the crew of your ship. Every vessel has a particular captain and a specific set of crew. By focusing your attention on an individual crew member, the crew can improve their skills and benefit your ship in many different ways. The captain of this ship has earned a promotion. This grants you access to better quality crew. You should start by improving the skills of your navigator. He will then be better able to guide your ship through the tides of the warp.
And of course, all of these offer different things. I think the Tech Priest gives you better repair abilities. The Gunner, of course, better aiming and targeting. This guy is better, gives you a bonus to boarding crews. This guy, I don't remember what this guy, and yeah, every single one of them. And of course, I think you can only give 3 points to each person.
Reconditioning will reset your crew abilities. Now, take a look at the ship's upgrades. You can install a new module on the light cruiser.
And then, of course, if say you're facing a certain type of enemy, you can actually, of course, you spend 100 renown and then recondition everybody. So if you've got a whole bunch of points, you can reset those points where you want them.
Different systems on each ship can be improved with modules and upgrades. Such systems include engines, decks, and weaponry. These improvements are acquired by gaining renown during your missions. I have set aside an additional void shield for your ship. You can install it now to improve the ship's shield rating.
So upgrades are all passive. So all of these things that it doesn't even show us the tooltips here, which is unfortunate because I'd love to be able to show that stuff off. But this, of course, will improve our shields by 100 points, and the escort ships as well by 50 points, which is cool. I didn't even notice that before. And 50
well done, Admiral. Now, try installing a tech module on your ship. The modules you can install improve different aspects of the ship. These aspects include defense, damage, control, support, recon, and maneuver. The number of modules that can be installed is limited by the ship's tonnage. Now, install the Shield Overload module. This will boost your shield's effectiveness for a short time during battle.
So just like the board game, the light cruiser can have one of these active skills. The cruiser can have 2, the battle cruiser can have 3, and the battleship can have 4.
Ah, let's see. Fancy.
I must return to my communion with the machine spirits. Admiral, you should return to the sector map for your next assignment.
Okay, and that's all we can do here because it's not letting us. Even though we have more renown, it's kind of silly, but whatever. We can't do anything else. What do you think? I think that is amazing. Like, imagine, but it's just like it's just like other Warhammer 40k
The sector's
titles where
High Strategic Council has met at Port Moore. The Council has a plan to secure the Gothic sector against these invaders, and you play a key role, Admiral. I will contact you soon to brief you on your next assignment.
It reminds me of other Warhammer 40k titles where, you know, you spend all this time, you'll spend weeks building up a character or a team, like in Blood Bowl, or you know, whatever, and then all of a sudden you die and it's all over.
Yes, pretty much.
So,
and Deluxe, so what I... Sorry.
No, please, go.
Yeah, so what I was saying about game logic is Renown. What an interesting resource. Like, what is this Renown? So apparently just by fighting and just by doing things and winning missions you get Renown, and the more renowned you have, the more stuff you can have, even though you are technically the admiral of the entire sector. We're not going to give you stuff unless you're famous enough.
That's right.
We could just give you a giant battleship.
It's
But
true.
really, no. You're not famous enough. You can only have a small light cruiser, you little git. You thought you were going to get everything, didn't you? No. You have to earn it. Earn it! While our cities burn, you must earn your weapons.
Well, yeah, I could totally see that. But also, I mean, they just took this guy off the street and they fed him some ice cream and then put him in a ship and said, you're now in charge, right? I mean, you're in charge, but you can't have everything because we only gave you the vanilla ice cream.
Yeah, and that's why the 40k system is so grim and so dark, because at this level of power, where you're like admiral of multiple of these supergiant spaceships, Black Crusades, you are pretty much swimming in cash on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So money doesn't even matter. You can afford like anything you want, but not the technology of this scale. So you have to prove yourselves to the guys or higher command before they allow you to have stuff. Otherwise, they can pretty much grab another ensign like you just did and promote them to captain and then indoctrinate them with ice cream.
Well, with ice cream. Well, I think that's the same with the board games. They do that the same with the board games too. Like Renown is used in the board games too as well to improve your ships and all that kind of stuff too. Yeah. And in the board games, just like in these video games, a lot of times you lose your ship, it's done, it's over. But I don't know what happens in multiplayer here. I don't know if there. I mean, I know there's a chance for you to get away, but if you lose your ship, I think it's gone.
Yeah,
our supply lines are being raided by orc pirates. Several reports indicate that the greenskins are harassing our forces, keeping them off balance. Admiral Spire, your orders are to escort an important Imperial convoy of equipment and food to Bladen. This world is suffering from the predations of the pirates, and millions will starve if these supplies don't reach their destination.
So we're going to show the intro to this next mission, and then we're going to call this an episode. And like I said, we could go on, we could play this for a long time. But this is, in fact, I think it's the last mission that's available, I guess, right now until they actually fully release the game anyway. But yeah, you guys got to watch this. You guys got to watch this cinematic. It's amazing. Sorry, go ahead, Luke.
No, it was nothing. I was just saying. Okay. That's basically what I was saying.
Okay, sorry.
The supply convoy is awaiting the arrival of your fleet to begin its journey. Many orc attacks have been reported on the trade route along your course. Escort the convoy through the system and defend it against any threat. It is vital that this convoy makes it through to Bladen. You'll be in command of the convoy as it passes through the danger zone. The convoy will be safe from the orc pirates once it reaches the edge of the system.
The orcs plague the whole galaxy from end to end, with their ceaseless warring and strife. They are a warlike, crude, and highly aggressive green-skinned Xenos race, organized in a primitive and brutal society, rooted so deeply in war that peace is utterly incomprehensible to them. Their ships are often ill-kempt, unreliable rust buckets, kept in operation only by the constant effort of orc mech boys and their Gretchen slaves. Orc pirate attacks are brutally direct, with their ships rushing headlong towards their target, guns firing wildly as they come. They cannot be bargained with or bought, save with weapons that they will inevitably turn against those who tried to bribe them. Orcs have a need for speed. Their ships commonly mount a plethora of thrusters, boosters, and extra drives, usually all wired up to a prominent red button in the cockpit. Experience have I learned that underestimating the greenskins is a fast route to the grave.
Amazing. I'm sorry, that was
gosh.
Isn't that awesome? Like some of the stuff that was going on, that was just
was awesome.
It's incredible.
Infinite goblins.
So guys,
what was freezing? That was...
Oh, isn't that crazy? They shoot them out of the cannons. I don't know, like maybe they stay alive long enough to like dig into the armor or something. I don't know.
Nope, they just die.
They just die. They explode against the enemy. Amazing. So what do you think, guys?
Yeah, they just...
Sorry?
What do you think of this?
I'm loving it. This is great so far.
We're gonna call it because we've already gone an hour here, but this is a really interesting first look at this game. And besides that, after this, I wonder actually, let's just go. We're gonna go in, then we're gonna go back, and we'll take a quick look at the multiplayer. But it's why is this not working? Yeah, my computer's about to explode with this game, by the way. With us streaming and everything, it's actually stopped functioning. But yeah, there is right now if you buy the. Hold on, let's just I'll tab this. If you buy it right now, it is available. The pre-order is available, and you get the three campaign missions right now, which basically show you how to play the game, and you also get access to solo skirmishes as well as the full multiplayer is available, and you build up your fleet in the same way as far as I understand. Even in the solo missions, like you get so many points and you get renown and you improve your crew and everything. It looks really fun. I can't wait until this comes out in full release. And just so everybody knows, I bought this. I was not given a copy. I just bought the whole thing just because I'm that excited about this game.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
I don't even know how long would multiple battles last in this game, because with all of these upgrades, all this depth, how long would it take to upgrade a ship, upgrade a whole fleet of them?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, as you saw there, like even some of those skills were like 25, 50 points. And then, like, I guess it depends. Like, the least amount of ships you take, so you're given so many points, and every ship costs like those light cruisers that we were flying. These guys here were like 104 points, and for solo missions, I wonder if we could just load it up really briefly here again. I don't want to take too much time here, but because I know everybody's got lives. There's 235 messages in Steam. Great, that I can't read. Fantastic.
Shame, Fox, shame. I'm gonna blame Purple Electric Tiger.
I'm thinking it's either Purple Electric Tiger or the Awesome Will, because he's probably angry at me right now.
Well, I mean, technically, he did tell you how to kick him off.
I wasn't trying to kick him off, actually. We had too many mods.
You know what I mean.
And he hadn't taken his meds today, so. Let's just go back here. Skirmish. So yeah, you get at the beginning, at least right now, you get to play either the Imperial Navy, the Chaos, Orc. So these are all Black Crusade guys. I don't know, actually, Eldar Corsairs. I don't know who they are, but Orc and Chaos, they are part of.
The Eldar.
Yeah, I don't know. Eldar Space Fleet.
Corsairs are a separate faction of the Eldar.
Oh, okay.
Basically, space elves.
Space elves.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah, they live on absolutely gigantic spaceships called craft rolls, which are the size of a planet.
Amazing.
And Eldar Corsairs are Eldar who just decided that, oh, screw the other elves, and they decided to live alone as pirates.
I'm assuming that their ships and their tactics will be quite elegant. I mean, very fast maneuverable ships. Probably, yeah, very fragile ships. So yeah, you'd want to be. This is probably a high skill race to play.
Yes, one would presume, yeah.
And then of course, orcs, not high skill. This is probably where I would end up is playing a lot of the orcs. I'm just gonna turn and try and ram everybody. That'd be so much fun. All ships are customizable.
While spamming goblins.
What's that?
While spamming
goblins. Amazing. Very resilient ships, very strong assault actions, but very, very likely to disobey. Poor maneuverability, poor accuracy and range. Disobey. That's funny. Yeah, and then Chaos, which is who you're fighting in the main campaign, I believe. I think Chaos, it's a combination of, it's the Black Crusade, so I'm assuming Chaos and Orc pirates, and then maybe the Eldars come along to help or something. I don't know. But yeah, pretty cool.
Or maybe they're just there for shits and giggles.
Maybe.
Orcs are always there for shits and giggles. They are not part of the Black Crusade.
So this
Also.
is the just the solo mission. So you start off with a small amount of renown, and you can upgrade your ship, and of course add you have access to the light cruisers and stuff, and then you can go. And I think it's just random battles. Like if we go to battle here, just with a couple light cruisers, I think it just picks a random scenario for you to face. But like I was saying, so you're given 250 fleet points. If we took only one ship and say a couple firestorms, that would leave us 63 fleet points that we're not using, and we would get that back in renown. So the smaller the fleet that you send out, the more renown. So there's a bonus, kind of like gratuitous space battles, in that.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of.
Yeah. Which I think is kind of a neat little feature, but again, I don't think I think as you start to get more and more renown and you get more and more ships, it raises the amount of fleet points that you're allowed to use, or maybe even get to select which missions you get to go on, because right now it's just kind of random. Yeah, and there's the escort ships. You can select the cheap escort ship, which all have torpedoes, but I can't imagine, like, if you had like 20 of those, trying to manage each one of them shooting torpedoes would be such a pain. So let's just here.
Imagine.
Let's go. Grab a couple firestorms. And I'm just curious to see if this is different, because I only played one mission like this. Okay, so there's one bad guy way out.
Understood.
Wow, he's like super far away, and you can hide in these clouds. And asteroids, actually the asteroids, they will explode when they're hit, and of course you can actually get abilities that will help you your armor repel asteroids to make your ship more resilient while you're flying through asteroid fields. So if you can actually build tactics around those skills.
Engines hot.
But anyway, guys, I'm gonna call it because we're going on way too longer already than I planned. Any final thoughts on the game?
I'm actually really impressed by what they are doing here. It has really good elements that I like in the Dark Crusade, Dawn of War, Dark Crusade, with the galaxy map that you have to, I would assume, conquer once the Black Crusade starts capturing territories, and probably have to recapture territories back from them. And this randomness as well. Plus, for people who are really into the Warhammer 40k lore, the Black Crusade is one of the really important events in the lore, because there have been like 13 of these Black Crusades led by the same chaos guy who repeatedly keeps trying to attack the Imperium and consistently getting repelled. So he's like a Saturday morning villain. Boy.
Saturday morning villain. I love it. The lore is so rich and so deep. The thing is, I'm intimidated by Warhammer 40,000. You know what? I'm actually also really excited for the new Total War that's going to be coming out too. The Warhammer 40,000. Yeah. That looks like it's going to be pretty good. Admiral von Schneider wants me to watch something. But anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this first look at Battlefleet Gothic Armada, and I want to thank both Patchouli and Luke for being very patient. There's a lot of voice in this game, so there wasn't really a lot of time for us to talk about it, and we wanted to get through it fairly quickly. So, but thank you for joining me anyway, guys, and I hope you enjoyed this.
I enjoyed this. Yeah, as well.